Hi, I'm Annalie Master. Welcome to my Common Sense Living podcast, where I'm going to add common sense and value to your life. Get a pen and paper because you're going to want to take some notes today. I have a special guest, Dr. Maureen, but before we get to her, I have to do my advertisements. I am an affiliate for this company, BioNutritionals, and I love the product because it helps your body to assimilate the protein. So you take all these protein drinks and you don't have enough aminos to absorb the protein. So this helps to get rid of my crepey skin and helps to keep your muscles strong and muscles. So that's that one. And then I also want to brag that this is my book, my first book I've ever written, Heaven Sent, Listening to Your Inner Voice. And if you want to buy it, I'd appreciate it. And that is the link that you can go to Amazon and get that. So with that out of the way, I won't bother you with any more advertisements on here. And I'd like to get right to Dr. Maureen, and I would give the intro to her, but she's got a long list. So I'm going to let her introduce herself. So Dr. Maureen, you've got the floor.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. And I am so excited about being here with Annalie Master, who I met at the Authors Millionaire Academy. And what the Authors Millionaire Academy is a place where our producer, Emilio Roman, who I'm giving a shout out to, he is excited about what he's doing with authors. One of the things that he says is that authors, and I'm an author, when we write, the statistics is that we only sell about 250 copies of our book. That's the first thing that drew me into Emilio, which is when I met him. And having written and published my first book last year, I want to be able to reach more people around the world. I have a very global perspective, having worked in an international organization for 25 years here in the DC area, the third largest employer in the Washington, DC area, the international, the World Bank, which is an international development organization. I have a very global perspective, and I say that we can reach more people with who we are now in the days when the internet and social media is so popular. It's an exciting time for us to be living in, isn't it? And
It is
something that we are able to get more of our work out there. You remember the time when people used to write and have to send their work out to various publishers and they would get rejected. Now, how awesome it is that us as authors today in this world where people are hungry for personal development, spiritual development, financial development, and freedom, that there are so many people out there who are able to give us what they have experienced. And they do it in books, they do it on social media. I mean, the social media is replete. I call Google the University of Google. So I'm saying, without going into too much about who I am and what I've accomplished, as we go through the afternoon, where you're going to hear more about what I've accomplished, which is a whole lot. In the years that God has given me, I'm a woman of faith, so you might hear me talk about my faith a lot. The first thing I introduced myself as a woman of faith who've lived my faith, and as a result of my faith, I've been directed by God to do the things that I've done in life. One of them getting a PhD in organizational development, and then behavioral scientist, getting a master's in behavioral science and a master's in human and organizational development. But those are academic accomplishments. In this world today, if you've accomplished academically a whole lot of things, and you don't know how to market yourself, you don't know how to let the world know what you have been given and what you have to give to the world, because we are in the world not for ourselves, but we're in the world to add value to people.
right.
Just how you're adding value to people with bringing them the products that you know that we need to digest the protein. When people are taking in so much protein and
Mhm.
they don't have the, what did you call it now? What was
The
it?
aminos.
The aminos, right? And I have aminos in my fridge right now. I don't take it as regularly as I should, but from today I'm going to I'm going to take my aminos so that I can digest my protein. So I was going to say, it doesn't matter how much academics one has. Academics are good for those people who are teaching and doing research, and I've done a lot of research and writing and publishing for the World Bank. So this book that I've written, Live Your Life from the Inside Out, if you can see it, Access
Mhm.
Unlocking the Power of the Divine, co-written, which is available on Amazon, if you go to drmaureenmcintosh.com, drmaureenmcintosh.com, you'll be able to see how to get copies of the book. But the reason why I've done all the things that I've done is for two reasons. One of them, the primary reason, is to, it might sound very elementary, but it's to bring glory to God.
And you
That,
will be rewarded.
that's the reason why I asked the Lord if he would give me one of the highest degree that the world can confer on man, which is a PhD. That I hoped, and I was not wrong, will open doors for me to be able to reach people and for them to listen
Mm.
what I have to say, because I have put myself through the discipline of getting educated.
Right.
So that was the first trade-off that I made when I left the Caribbean and came to the United States to live
Where are you from? The
from
Caribbean.
Grenada.
Oh, yeah, I was there once.
Yeah. So I left the United States and came to Grenada because I left Grenada and came to the United States the other way around in order to, one, complete my education, and two, to get into environments where what God has blessed me with, I can share it with the world. And I
Mm.
started sharing it with the world as a preacher,
Mm.
and as a teacher, and a speaker and a trainer at the World Bank in Washington, D.C. And then I decided, okay, I think I need a wider environment. So I started speaking in churches and speaking in different places, primarily in the church. But what I'm saying is that if we get educated and we don't use the education that we have to impact lives and to influence lives, there's no reason why we should get it,
Right. Right.
Mhm. So yeah, master's degrees, PhD, being a Johns Hopkins fellow in the management of change. What does that mean? Being a fellow in the management of change in organizational intricacies and dynamics is to how to leverage the challenges and the challenges and opportunities that come our way inside of organizations in order to impact lives, create change within the organization, because organizations are dynamic in the sense that they're constantly changing. If we capture the change, if we understand the change that we need to bring into the organization will be impacted. The people within the organization are impacted. They are able to perform better because we train them, we listen to them, to what they want in order to be able to do the work that we've brought them in to do. We hire better, we retain more people because of the benefits that people get from being aligned with the vision and the values of the organization. Because most people join organizations, and I joined the World Bank, and my late husband, who worked in the same organization I did. We joined the bank because we were aligned to the vision of the organization. It's not a commercial bank as you know it. It is an international development organization, which is sister to the International Monetary Fund. So after the World War I, that there's a lot of devastation that took place, and
Right.
we understand devastation because we're seeing what's happening in Ukraine,
Mm.
the devastation that took place in Europe, the devastation that took place because of World War One. These two organizations decided to form these organizations in order to help governments of the world with the expertise that they gathered in terms of um, environmental development, um, you know, all the types of developments that people need, infrastructural development, education, um, the bringing together people from different organizations like
Mm.
IMF, the IDB, Inter-American Development Bank, the people working at those various international organizations. They come together and they pull their resources together to advise the governments
Mm.
as how to build up the countries that have been devastated by war. And it's
Wow.
because of that that I joined the
Mm.
bank. And because of that, you have people coming from all over the world who there were at one time over 15,000 people working in headquarters here in DC alone.
Wow.
And you have the member countries. The president of the bank is an appointee of the government of the United States. And the managing director of the International Monetary Fund is appointee of Europe. So anyway,
Mm.
that was where I got most of my organizational exposure when coming here. I made a difference internally in the lives of the staff at the bank. But once I retired 20 years ago, and I started my own business, my own coaching business. So I coach, I train, I speak, and work with influencers. I say influencers, people who everybody's influencing. So influencers, I work with Christian faith-based influencers, helping them to understand the values that they espouse and to get them to be sure that they espouse, to vocalize values align with their values and practice. That's one. And number two, to take a look at how their background, socialization, their culture, and their experiences align together to either stand in the way of them being able to live their values within the organization or not live their values. So for instance, people who say that I am not racist. Well, is there any evidence in you as a manager or a leader that you're not racist? When you're hiring, and that's what I did at Johns Hopkins, the Hopkins Fellow in the Management of Change. When change is taking place within a society, it takes place within organizations as well. So if you tell me that you're not a racist, then is your hiring policies and practices demonstrating that? Is there evidence that when you say that you're a person who loves to help people, or you love to educate orphans and vulnerable people, let's say, for example, is there evidence in your checkbook that that's what you do? If you tell me a person that is supporting churches, and can I see your checkbook and can I see can I see whether in fact that your monthly expenditure is really demonstrating that that's how you live your life? So I hold people accountable for values espoused and values in practice. That's mostly what I do with the people I coach. I challenge them to live their values. Mhm. That's one type of coaching that I do, but that's the essence of. If people say I want to start an organization, for example, if you say I want to start a business, I work with you in identifying what is the mission, what's the vision, what outcomes, who are the people that you want to add value to, whatever the product or the service that you're going out into the world to bring. You have to have a clear sense of what your mission statement is. What is your vision? What's the purpose of all of this? Who are you going to impact? Where is the best place for you to open up this business if it is something that needs a physical building? Or how do you reach out to the people that will know you, like you, and trust you so that you can serve them? So that's the organizational development from scratch. That's what it means, from scratch. I help work with people so that they can think through, what is it, who is it, what is it, when is it, how is it, what is it you're going to do, and why are you doing it anyway? Is it for money only, or do you want to make an impact?
Well, that's interesting, because as a nurse and a health coach, I wanted to help people. My grandma died from complications of diabetes, and I have a 4% genetic chance of it. And my A1C depends on what I eat and all, and I know it's through healthy eating that we can control, give or take, how our body's going to react to everything, if you're going to get sick or not. And part of it is back to the faith-based. I believe in God. I love my DNA. I talk to him. I refuse to get sick. Something can come to me and I refuse it. And I haven't had the flu since 1968. And I attribute so much of that to having my belief system that I am God's servant. And I know that I want to have a class on teaching about diabetes, that you can overcome it, that you don't have to be taking medications. Now, I was on a webinar today for like an hour and a half, learning about this program that's coming up through the coaching program that I had taken. And it's in the initial stages between Texas A&M and, let's see, American Diabetes Association, and there was another one, I can't remember, but between two associations. And they're providing us with the materials that then we go out and teach people. So I'm asking myself, the speaking career and authorship and stuff that I'm on, it's rather costly. And maybe I wasn't wise enough on, extending myself too much, whatever. Anyway, yes, I want to make money, but that is not my driver.
Yeah.
I can honestly say it is to help people. In fact, I even told my daughter-in-law, I won't charge you anything because you're my daughter-in-law. And in exchange, in a way, she's helping me to develop it for me to be able to present it, So anyway, with the desire to overcome it.
You are charging her, but not in the way we understand.
Yes, not monetarily. Yes. Yeah. Well, she didn't have to share feedback, but I would appreciate it if she does.
Yeah.
But that would be her payback, so to speak. And my reward would be to have her not be on metformin anymore and stuff like that. So anyway, I'm not money-based for it, but yeah, I want to make some, but I don't have to make a lot. The motivation for me is to present it and help people to get healthier, and they have to be invested or they won't take it seriously. And then that's a waste of my time. So there's where do you go? I could charge, and I figure it's going to be a 3-month program. So where do you go with that is $300 a month. I would say it's worth it. If I had diabetes, it would be worth it. But talking to my husband the other night, I said, well, it's a 3-month program. I kind of like the idea. Now, I'm not sure if this is how I'm going to stay with it or not, but $300 for the first month, $200 for the second, and $100 for the third, because they won't need me by the fourth if they adhere to the diet, you see? And then maybe there's, something to keep them. So anyhow, I'm kind of tossing it all around because I still don't have the program set to present it yet. But so hearing you say about the organizational parts and stuff of it, fits right in with what I'm going through.
Yeah. So the question that you may want to ask yourself is, how valuable is what you are offering people? How valuable is it?
As valuable as they feel their life is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what outcomes are they going to have?
Oh, they'll have improved health and maybe they'll lose some weight and they'll maybe get off of the drugs or minimize them or never get diabetes. Because I have played with myself on this for several months, a couple of years actually. And I went back to Iowa, visit family last year, the whole month of June. They don't eat anything healthy. They just, I cringed. And I said, I'm not going to fight them. I'm just going to go with it. I came back and my A1C was 5.9. Freaked me out. 6 weeks later, it was 4.9, and I did it with food. So I know it can be done.
How many people do you think want what you have to offer?
Oh, I think there's a lot of people that want it, but then you come down to how many want to do the work.
Yeah. So here's the thing. The people who want it badly and they want to do the work, they will value it.
Yes.
One of the things that I say, I have a webinar that I developed that allows people to get clients in 12 weeks to double their current income, or at least making as much as they're making. One of the things that I say is that if you might know this verse of scripture from the Bible. It says the laborer is worthy of his hire.
Of his what?
Of his hire. Hire. The laborer is worthy of his hire. Meaning that if you're laboring, you're worthy to be paid for what you do. And the value that there's a perception that if something is inexpensive, perception, and perception is everybody's reality. If it is inexpensive, it's probably not good.
Yeah, but yet if it's too expensive, they won't do it.
So here's the thing. The value is in how much value I place upon my health. And there are different people in the world. You're looking for the people who place value on their health. People would, if you are able to let people see what value you're bringing them. Like I asked you a while ago, how much is it worth? What is the outcome? And if you sit down and you were to write outcomes, you just write a paragraph or 3, you will, when you do this program when you take this, become a part of my program, you will, and you start writing, you will, and write the outcome. Your A1C, your first of all, you'll have a better quality of life.
Right.
You'll be able to spend more time with your children. Your breathing will improve. Your weight will go down. All of the things that you're not lying to people. You're telling them what the outcome is. And people come to you because they want outcomes.
Right.
You wouldn't have to take the medication, and you name metformin or medication would not you no longer have to do that. Then you can get from your daughter-in-law or your daughter when she goes through the program, you find out from her how was she when she came into the program, what was her A1C, what kinds of things she wasn't doing before, and what kinds of things she is able to do now. What results did she get? Those people would be the people that would give you testimonials.
Right.
And so when you go out to people to bring them the outcomes that they want, how much money do you think if you ask somebody, how much is it worth to you to have your A1C at 4, to be able to go out to vacation with your children, to be able to run with your grandchildren, to be able to go up and down the steps without having to lose your breath. These are so what you went through, right?
Right.
So all you have to do is to look at the outcomes that you have, and you speak to people from the outcomes, and don't compromise what God has given you, because what God has given you is going to bring health and well-being to the world, to the people that serve. And that is worth a lot. People will go to the doctor, and the doctor has to prescribe medication, which somebody pays for. The insurance either pays 80% and they pay 20%. But the more expensive the medication, the more expensive it is for the person paying the 20%. So they will do anything to have good health. People will pay anything to have good health. I recognize that we have to be people of integrity, that we make it accessible and available, your program accessible and available to people, but you want to make sure that they value it. And the only way people value what you bring them is if they have some skin in the game. The more, if you want people to have the outcomes that you want them to have, you've got to charge them. Because people are not going to value what doesn't cost them anything.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that awful? I know.
But if you were to pay $1,000 for the class that you are giving for the 12 weeks, let's say, that's $500 a month.
Yeah.
12 weeks, 4 and 4, 8, 10 to 10. No, 1,000. Let's say you charge $1,200 for the class that you're giving. I know it sounds like a lot, but if you present the outcomes and to people that they will have, and you're talking about 4 and 4, and that's 3 months. That's $400 a month.
Yeah.
Do you think people are not going to want to find in their budget $400 in order to bring the A1C down?
Right. I would say yes, they jump at the chance.
Okay, so don't make any excuses for them. See, the stories we tell ourselves about our clients is what we live by. We say that they're not going to do it. It's a story that we tell. Don't tell stories. People's health is very important to them, because you're talking about life here. Right. Longevity, you're talking about quality of life, you're talking about people improving their ability to be able to spend quality time with their
and their self-esteem.
And their self-esteem, and because it comes from losing the weight. People will pay for that. So what I would like you to do is to sit down and write all of the benefits that they would get. Just list benefit. Then list the opposite of the benefit. The opposite of what the reality is, living with high A1C and a lot of weight. What is the reality? Not being able to take is the opposite of the benefits, right?
Right.
The opposite of the benefits is that you're not able to spend time with your kids. You're not able to take a vacation. You're not able to go up and downstairs. Your self-esteem would be low. But consider the opposite of that is the benefits. Okay.
Right.
How long would you want to continue living the life you have with a low self-esteem, not being able to move around, not being able to run around with your kids, not feeling good about how long you want to continue, versus getting where you want to be with a guided expertise, with the guidance that you would provide, and in just 3 short weeks, if it's 12 weeks, if it's 3 short months, 90 days, right? 90 days.
90 days to change your life.
You could, if you want to change, you change your life? 90 days, a better quality of life. That's what people want to hear. And then once you give them what they want, obviously they want to know, tell me, Anne, how much is this going to cost me? I say, no, there's not a cost associated with it, because cost is what you pay in exchange for a service. I'm asking you to make an investment in your life.
Right.
When you start talking about cost, is how much are you willing to invest in your life, in your future, in your loved ones? And what sacrifices are you willing to make in order to have the life you want for you and your loved ones? If you can ask that question, I will tell you what this program, the investment, the personal investment in your life and in your future, is a low $400 a month.
Right.
Or, for the 3 months, it's $1,200. But you have the ability to pay it front, $1,200, and I can give you to pay it up front all at once. You get it for $1,000, and that is a special that I'm running this month. That special goes away in a week.
Yeah.
You understand? So, or you can pay it in monthly installments with a down payment of $400 to secure my time, and then after that you pay it to the other two at the beginning of each month, and that's very little when you consider what your life would be like.
Right. Maybe a little financial sacrifice for 3 months for 30 years or more of a life.
No, don't call it a financial sacrifice. Call it an investment, because once you start making it a sacrifice,
a negative.
Make it into a negative. It is an investment into you and your well-being and your family. And so what are you willing to do in order to be able to get from where you are to where you want to be, which is to have the quality of life that you always dreamed that you would have. And here's your answer. I'm bringing it to you because I'm a testament to having lived that life.
Right.
And never think about it again as not being able to reach people, because those who want it, there's some people, Anne, who would say no. And it's not nothing against you. It's just either they don't have the money at the time. And if you want to be generous, you can give out of every 10 people, you can give a scholarship to 2 people or to 1 person, which is a 10%. You see, you can have a scholarship for every 10 people, you give away 1. You see?
It makes it kind of a lottery, kind of fun. Who doesn't like to play the lottery, right?
Yeah, that's a way of doing it, but you can be intentional about saying for every 10 people that come, the 10th person will, either the first person or the 10th person will get it free. And then if 1 person brings in another person and they pay full price, you can give them a discount to make it worth for them. So that's where you increase your your
Well, I'm inspired.
and then of course, in addition to that, they can get a copy of your book.
Yeah, I probably give them one. Yeah,
give them a copy of your book. They get a copy of your book, and they get a 20% off or 30%. It's your business. So, but what you have is golden. What you have is golden, and
it is.
People want it. All you need is to package the way you speak about it. And this next week Saturday, I'm bringing the John Maxwell coach who teaches us how to present and how to speak. He's giving us 10 weeks. 10 weeks. My co-authors are getting 10 weeks from him.
Oh, wow.
Be able to speak, how to get onto podcasts, how to be able to get on radio, to get on television, wherever we're speaking, learning how to present the work we're doing with our books. and our business.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
And
part of the
that's giving back. Yeah.
that's part of the bonus that they're getting from me as a result of being with the co-authorship.
Wow.
And of course, they're getting bonus from being on AMA, and they're getting
Right.
being coached by me as well for one whole
Yeah.
year until the book is
Wow.
published. So I haven't opened it up to people on AMA because I wasn't sure. I'm being very careful as to not encroach on the clients that I meet in AMA.
Mm.
I'm being very careful not to. Emilio had to say to you, Dr. Maureen needs another author. I'm very careful. Being a diplomat's wife for many years, I know what the right thing to do is, and we are collaborating. But I don't feel comfortable marketing to AMA people. You see
Yeah.
what I mean? I don't feel comfortable. It is within Emilio. Emilio has to say, Dr. Maureen needs another person on, and I was grateful that he said that. So coming up to say, oh guys, you can come on to my coaching program with Roddy Galbraith, who is a John Maxwell a coach, speaker, trainer. He trains in that area in
Wow. Maybe I should reconsider that chapter.
yeah.
Dig in my mattress a little bit deeper.
Yeah, he trains in that, and we're starting next Saturday from 10:45 to 11:45. He is
Wow.
my personal coach, and
Mm.
he's doing it for me as a because he is my personal coach.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So for the
Yeah.
10 weeks, the 10 weeks that he's given it to us, he's just asking for $400 for the whole 10 weeks.
Wow.
Which is nothing because he coaches John Maxwell.
Mm.
He's coached over 40,000
Mm.
of John Maxwell coach speaker trainers, and John just wrote a book called on communication, the 16 invaluable laws of communication, and he mentions him a lot in that book.
Mm.
You know John Maxwell, don't you?
I've heard the name.
Yes.
Yeah. I since I've gotten into this phase of my life, I've heard all these names, John Maxwell, Tony Robbins, and it's just, and so many lovely people. They all want to help everybody. It's not like to take away or to run you down or any of that. They're all so uplifting. I just feel like a little child.
Yes. I started with John in 2017. So it's been 6 years now. I'm one of the executive directors in the program. And what that means is that we're advocates for the program. And when we go to Orlando, we have the Maxwell International certification twice a year in March and in August. And when the executive directors, when we go, we train the new ones with the programs that John has. We help them to get oriented within the organization. There's 80,000.
Wow. Wow.
Whenever we
Wow.
the Orlando Convention Center is where we have the training every year, and there are at least 8,000 people.
Wow. Are you going to go to Nashville in March?
I want to go, but we'll see, because that's the time when I'm supposed to be in Orlando with John as an executive. I have to be there. In August again, I have to be there. So I am going to go down to New Jersey just to support Emilio. Committed to. I do a lot of networking within the 8,000 people. 8,000.
Wow.
People coming from all over the world.
Yeah.
Plus, we have online where we meet up with people online. We have an online meetup, so we meet up, we chat, we exchange information once a month on Saturday mornings. So we meet people all over the world and
Mm.
collaborate with people all over the world.
Mm.
John is just an amazing speaker.
Mhm.
He trained, and this guy, Roddy, is the one who trains all of the coaches.
Wow.
And
Mm.
he said yes to me asking him to come and work with. And at first he said, I give them 4 weeks. He said, but Maureen, for you, I'll give them 10 weeks. 10
Wow.
weeks.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. But
For $400? Wow.
10 weeks.
Wow.
And when he is the one that prepares the people for the speaker competition in John Maxwell.
Mm.
They usually have over 200 people, 300 people sending in their videos, and he would critique the videos and he would work with them in order for them to be able to bring this. Was a 5-minute presentation, 5-minute talk.
Mhm.
And out of that, 10 people get selected, but he works with
Wow.
them for four months to bring them to that place where they finally choose 10 people. But I mean, he's a master at that. And God has blessed me for him to say, up to now, I can't believe I have been able to get this man to say yes. I'll tell you what his name is. I'll write it in the chat. His name is Roddy, Roddy Galbraith. He's British.
Mhm.
Galbraith.
Well, they say when the student is ready, that what they need is presented, that kind of thing. And I've been thinking about doing this diabetes thing for a few years. And I just decided, well, I came back from the speaking engagement in Colorado, and I decided that's over. I don't have anything going. My part-time job isn't coming on again until I think I got maybe a couple of jobs in July, but I'm a biometric screener. And that's why I'm always up to date on my finger sticks about stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I said, well, time management is one of my goals because I have to put my pedal to the metal. I have to be on here. I have to this, I have to that. So I'm getting better at that. And I'm presented with this opportunity yesterday that I listened to today about the diabetes class. And I said, I've been wanting to do it. And I've been talking ever since I came back that I'm going to do it. And then I feel God put it on my plate.
Mhm.
And then another lovely story that I posted on Zoom yesterday morning, I think. It's so hot here in Texas, 110 or whatever. And it's so dry and hot and the storm clouds. And it doesn't say we're going to get any rain. So I'm out there and I'm looking at the clouds and that's it. No lightning. Boom, there went lightning. And
Wow.
then, yeah, and it's like I'm talking to God. Well, there's no lightning, whatever. And but I saw the outline of the clouds, and there were all these little popcorn-looking clouds with a little darkness in it and stuff. I come in the house, I go back out. I come in the house, go back out, and I said, Lord, would you please give us some rain? Oh, yes, on my arm, a drop. I said, oh, thank you, God.
Oh my
But
goodness.
I meant rain, like, an inch for the soil, for the garden. That would be just wonderful. I'd appreciate that so much. And then I came back in the house and it's pouring outside. And
Oh,
yesterday morning, I go out and I checked our rain gauge, and we had just about an inch of rain. Oh my, look what you asked for. And so I put on my Zoom thing, I said, I am in tune with God, and I asked and I received and it wasn't for me, it was for the soil, for the plants, that kind of thing. Because my plants are pretty much cooked by now, my veggies. But
that's
anyhow,
that's awesome. And I love these stories because you know what it says is that the same God of the universe who created the universe and called the universe into being, we can call on him and he shows us immediately
yes,
that he is
yes,
alive. Even though he is alive in the spirit realm, he is alive
yes,
and he
yes.
hears. And you know what is fascinating about the world in which we live in today? Long ago, at least for me, I could not understand prayer. I tried with
Mhm.
understanding to understand. Where do my words go? How do
Mhm.
the words that I speak find its way into the ear of a spirit being whose
Mhm.
ear is listening to me? Well, consider this, Anne. You and I can see each other based on a frequency that man has been able to tune into.
Mhm.
15 years ago, this wasn't possible because my husband died 15 years ago. We did
Mhm.
not have Facebook. We did not have FaceTime. We only had audio.
Right.
But even then, it is the frequency. What is it and how is it that your image and your voice is picked up where? So
Mhm.
I can see you and hear you. And
Mhm.
man has been able to tap into that frequency. That you're hearing me and I'm hearing you. You're seeing me, I'm seeing you. Is it then too wild for you and me to realize that in the realm of the spirit, huh,
Mhm.
this person, this being that we call God, is actually seeing us now on a frequency that he
Mhm.
created, that he's seeing and hearing as you're hearing my voice as I speak. He too is hearing our voices and seeing us as we speak, as we act. It is not impossible. Man has been able to do it, and he is the one who has given us the ability to be able to do that. Can you imagine?
Yeah, it's hard to imagine, isn't it?
But we're doing it.
Yes.
Man has given us the ability to do it. So now it's not so hard to imagine, because if human beings were able to come together and tap into this frequency that allows you and me to see each other and hear each other real time.
Mhm. Yeah.
Is this ability that we have been given, as we have been given that ability, we have been allowed to tap into it. It was in the darkness years ago, but now it has come to light. And
Mm.
how many more things will come to light? It will blow our minds.
Yeah. Yeah.
20 years ago, we never knew that this would be possible.
Right. And people today, the stories that we would have talking to the other side or whatever, um, this is one that's in my book. It's my favorite one. It was, I think, 8 years ago. And I have a far infrared sauna, and it's November here in Texas. And I was in it. I'm hot. I said, honey, I have to go outside and cool off. No sooner did I sit on the porch in the swing and I saw my deceased grandma, dad, and nephew like this at me. I said, for me. And I closed my eyes, opened them up, they were gone. And I said, it's not for me. It's for me to tell my mother. Because the following week I went back to Iowa and I'd say, Mom, when you see them, go, they're ready for you. Take their hand. Because she had Alzheimer's. She'd say, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. She'd look this way and then there's a noise over here, bring her back to reality that she's got to stay here for her kids. Well, anyhow, I told her that and she passed 4 months later and I wrote her obituary in 15 minutes. And I put that in my book too. And I shared that story with a gal I work with, another nurse. And she said, oh, Anne, that's a devil. Oh my God, that's a devil, you know. And I said, oh no, it's not. I was chosen to experience that because I am not afraid. I do not live in fear and I have a voice and I tell the world that. I told it so much so that I put it in my book. And I feel like I was gifted that because I would share it. Oh,
Yes,
it's just wonderful. I could
it
talk to you forever.
is. No, you know what? I I am amazed at the fact that you had that experience. You opened your eyes and there was your grandmother
Yes. Yes, just as they were in perfect health. Oma was 72, Dad was 71, and my nephew was 24. Looked just like they did when they were alive and healthy, perfect health. Dad had brain tumor, perfect health. So, and then the reason I wrote my book, I don't have children. And once my family and my friends are gone, nobody knows I lived, right? But at the Inner Beauty conference down here, Sherry, the minister, excuse me, her husband said, you need to share your spiritual stories now. I swear, somebody, nobody over here, somebody. And I said, you're right. I need to share the spiritual side because people need the hope. They need to know that they're not crazy. They need to know that all they have to do is ask. And there was nobody over here, but I felt somebody turn my head. Oh, I love to say those things. I love to share it.
So yeah, and oh my goodness, I would love that. That story is not in my anthology.
Maybe I should reconsider doing it, huh?
Maybe you should reconsider that chapter 3. That is still vacant. You should reconsider doing it.
Yeah, I'll ask Emilio and Daniela what they can do.
Yeah, that chapter 3 is golden. Is it? I mean, the chapter itself is 2,000. If they agree to take $1,500, I would agree to it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's more important for you to get your story out there.
Right.
It's more important for the people who have come to do this for the chapters in the book. There are people who saw the opportunity and they said, you know what? There's one girl, she lost her daughter named Diamond. Diamond died, the only child she had. Children. But her story, she was asked to tell that story years ago where the kid died. And as soon as one of my other co-authors said, you know what, I'm going to reach out to her and ask her to put a story in the book. And she was ready. She was saying that past week, God was just saying to her, and you need to share your story. You need to, and she wrote that story in 2 weeks.
Ah, wow.
She wrote it in 2 weeks and did an amazing job. And this is somebody, that the husband supported her, and she coming from Grenada, where the US dollar is so high against their dollar, she was able to send in her $2,000 just like that. And I say to myself, these are people who see the opportunities, because what I say to them is that, you know what, guys, your book, your story, I was just on with the woman from Ireland, your story reaching Ireland, reaching Bermuda, reaching Guyana, reaching Grenada, reaching England, and also all of the people that I can reach at the John Maxwell Organization. Right now, my book is in Dubai. One of the ladies, she took this book and she went to Dubai and she's doing masterminds with it. The book is in Ireland. One of the ladies took the book. There's two of them. One, the Pastor Val, who you see come on, and then another one who is impacting. Her goal is to impact 50,000 people. Ireland has 5,000. Her goal is to impact 50,000 people, and they take this book and they share the stories, including one of them wrote a chapter in John Maxwell's latest book. So these are influencers. The lady that came on yesterday, I don't know if you saw her, Pauline. Pauline is the global chair for over 100,000 people globally. And I am the chair for the United States of America.
Wow.
And we get together as women and we talk about how to change the world one conversation at a time, one magic conversation at a time. So the impact that your story, plus when Roddy comes and he tells us how to really market this book, because you can have a book, you don't know how to present it. You don't know how to get into to the essence of what you're doing, how to be able to present it in such a way that who you are and who you are. Like when I talk to people about the fact that I'm a coach, I'm a leadership coach, all of these, and I have a nonprofit organization. Every time I talk, I have my book in my car. I have my book when I go to the doctor. I have my book when I'm sitting at a restaurant. It's always there. The thing about it is, we live our work, and Roddy is going to show us how to actually do this. How to be, because he's the one that helps with John Maxwell marketing of this hundreds and thousands of books. John has sold millions of copies.
Oh yeah.
Of
Yeah.
his, but do you think that he did that? He was intentional. He did book tours, country, all across. Once he went from city to city, touring cities. Well, true, he has the advantage of the fact that he's John Maxwell. But you and I, and Lee Master, Dr. Maureen, the advantage we have is that who has never heard us will hear us when we get there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
and we lead the others that yes, you can.
Yes.
All you got to do is say yes.
Say yes, exactly.
That's how mine started.
Yes, exactly. All we have to do is say yes. With the group, the unique thing about my group is that we meet once a month. I get them to present the story, to share the story. They're always sharing the story. They have cut it down now to a 20-minute keynote address. So they have their keynote address. Roddy is going to hear them speak. He's going to present what they're doing. They have the elevator speech already, and every time we meet, they are constantly sharing it. And they also share the journey that they've been through, what emotions it stirred up for them as they were writing, how they have changed as a result of writing. Because they wrote the story about emotions that took place in the past. And now they're writing about the story again, and new emotions are coming up. How have they dealt with it? And transformation has taken place and continued to take place as they share the story, changing. So that's what we're doing. It's a unique group. I brought in Emilio several times to talk with them. I brought in Giselle, the editor, to talk with them. I brought in, what's the name of one of the other ladies who is writing this chapter in the book, Nikki Cuesta. Nikki Cuesta came in to talk with them about how she has benefited from being with Emilio. And each one of them is showcasing the work that they do. So they're getting to know each other intimately.
Right.
And what is precious about this is, I keep saying, the culture of the group is that they didn't just write a story. They wrote a book. And when they're going out with the book, is not about their story. Like Emilio will always say to us, it is first to 75% is edification, and edification of each other, not edification of themselves. 25%, well, that's already, he says 75, 25, and 5. So edification, education, and then entertainment. So I would say 70%, 25%, and then 5%, right? That would be 100%. So when they get on there, they know that it's totally edifying and edifying. And you notice how Emilio does it, right? You are edifying. Each person. Listen to Anne and her podcast, and Pastor Patricia, what she's doing. He's constantly edifying. He role models that for us.
Right.
Then the education piece, 25%, the education piece. You know, who you are, what you do, letting people know what you do. And then the 5% is entertainment. Now, I don't have an entertainment bone in my body.
Oh, I can, but that's going to have to be for another story, because I think we've gone over our hour.
Okay.
So I don't want to quit it, but
we can do it. can do this again, and then I'm going to
Yes.
encourage the other ladies to get on the podcast with you. I was on a podcast with Mark Cox. That was a total delight. And of course, to encourage the other ladies to get on podcast with you, I'm going to open up my own podcast as well. It will be communicating effectively from the boardroom to the bedroom.
Cool. I like that. Okay. All right. Well, Dr. Maureen, I learned so much from you today, and I learned that you are a wonderful, generous, loving lady, and I'm honored to have had you on my podcast today, and I'm honored to call you a friend. So,
It was my friend. Yeah, John Maxwell will say, I am Maureen and I'm your friend. So yeah, we have been able to connect at a very deep spiritual level. And I thank you for sharing the story. I love the story about what you saw. And thank you for sharing that with me. That's very precious to me because I have loved ones who have passed away and I've had experiences with their presence. And as a Christian pastor, I have not openly shared it with anyone because I know some people are not open yet to
right.
But pretty soon, the way the world is going, it'll become common.
Oh yeah.
Sharing these things.
And we need people to like I am used by my mouth because I'm going to speak up because I'm authentic and I have integrity and it's right. I know it's right. I wouldn't screw somebody over.
Right.
So God chose me to experience these things because I've fought to grow in this for years. I mean, my own family was against me on it and I stayed the course and it's paid off. I feel so wonderful.
Awesome.
We're going to have to continue later because otherwise they're going to not even get to hear the rest of it. You'll probably have to cut it off.
To be continued.
Yeah.
So I pray that you'll be blessed. You have a blessed afternoon and we will do this again. Okay?
Yes. Appreciate that.
I truly appreciate you and your time.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Maureen. And I want to thank all you Common Sense Living podcast followers to listen in. And I hope you learned something and enjoyed today because I certainly did. So you'll find me on where podcasts are like YouTube and Spotify, Buzzsprout, and I'd appreciate it if you'd like and share and see you again next time. So bye-bye and toodaloo. Thank you for tuning in to my Common Sense Living podcast today. I hope you enjoyed it and I'm sure you learned something new. Please leave a kind review and share this episode with a friend. And be sure to subscribe yourself. You'll find me on iTunes, Spotify, and other platforms. And don't forget, we'll be here again next week with another insightful episode of Common Sense Living. I can hardly wait.